Many thanks for joining News on the Hour. First, let's give you the major headlines. Former Primate of the Church of Nigeria, the Most Reverend Nicholas Oko, congratulates the Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of the Trinity, Right Reverend Amos and Mrs. Abike Fagbamie, on the success of their mission as they retire. A public health advocate, Dr. Henry Ewunono, says that the COVID-19 vaccine is meant to attack the virus and maximize its effect on people once they have been vaccinated. In another development, a medical practitioner with National Hospital Abuja, Dr. Tambri Wakama, says vaccine is not new to the world, as vaccine is said to help in protecting and improving lives. Plus, a 5-man panel of the Supreme Court affirms the 10-year jail term sentence slammed on a former governor of Plateau State, Senator Joshua Darie. Now to the rest of the news. As the Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of the Trinity, Right Reverend Amos and Mrs. Abike Fagbamie retires, the former Primate of the Church of Nigeria, His Grace Most Reverend Nicholas D. Oko, has congratulated him and his wife on the success of their mission. According to him, Bishop Amos Fagbamie, accompanied with his wife, has showed administrative competence and readiness to serve God selflessly. Observing how Bishop Amos and Mrs. Abike Fagbamie were to retire 2 years ago, but that the exigencies of the time at the ADOTT did not recommend a favorable transition to the Church of Nigeria vis-a-vis the Anglican Church in North America and her leadership, but graciously and faithfully, the recommendation proposal to grant an additional 2 years to Bishop Amos was accepted by the House of Bishops. He further stated that as Bishop Amos and his wife go on retirement, ADOTT as a church has a great future, and therefore joined the whole Church of Nigeria to pray for a good successor, a selfless leader, spiritually competent and mature. The retirement, thanksgiving and valedictory service of the Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of the Trinity, Right Reverend Amos and Abike Fagbamie, will be live on ACNNTV by 3 p.m. Nigerian time on Sunday, and viewers are encouraged to watch the service. Now, the Anglican Bishop of Eha Amufu Diocese, the Right Reverend Daniel Olinya, has stated that without resurrection power of Jesus Christ, Christianity will mean nothing. Speaking on the topic, Believers' Hope of Resurrection, at the just concluded Lenten meditation for the Diocese of Abuja, the Way of the Cross, he noted that the resurrection of Jesus Christ is the basics of Christianity, and that since Jesus rose from death, every believer who dies is raised from death. Hence, hope of every believer.
The key, the basics, the centrality, the pivot, the backbone of Christian faith is the resurrection of Christ. Without this, Christianity will mean nothing. Since Jesus rose from the dead, it is certain that every believer will rise. This is our hope. Because in Christ, we have life. So the basis of Christianity, while we strongly talk about the resurrection of the believers, is the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Now on COVID-19 vaccines, a medical practitioner with the National Hospital Abuja, Dr. Tambri Wakama, has said that vaccine is not new to the world, adding that people have taken vaccine at one point or the other, such as the polio vaccine, measles vaccine, and other vaccines, which has helped in protecting and improving lives. Speaking with Nwanne Ogechukwu in an interview, Dr. Wakama said that the COVID-19 vaccine is safe, hence the need for people to do away with fear.
Vaccine is not new to the world. Majority of us have had to take vaccine at one point or the other. We bring out our children every now and then to take measles vaccine, to take polio vaccine, to take vaccine against tuberculosis. We've been taking vaccines, so it's not new. COVID-19 has a lot of stories behind it. So it is not unusual for us to hear these stories. But we can confidently say that it is safe because the intention is that people should be protected. It's a viral infection. We know it is God that protects us. It is God that shields us. It is God that preserves us. But we need to do the needful as far as we can as human beings and let God, do his work. So we shouldn't play God, and we shouldn't try God either by refusing to take what we think is necessary for us. I'm speaking both as a medical personnel and also as a Christian, that our faith and our trust is in God who will protect us. There are a lot of people who take the same medicine, but it doesn't work. But we trust that when we administer the drug, by God's help and grace, the medicine will work and people will get healing. So it is a thing of joy that we're here to take the vaccination, and some of us have taken it, and so far so good. We don't have any issues.
Now, in another news, a public health advocate, Dr. Henry Ewunono, has said that the COVID-19 vaccine is meant to attack the virus and maximize its effect on people once they have been vaccinated. It will be recalled that Nigerians have expressed mixed reactions on the vaccine. Speaking with Nwanne Ogechukwu in his office at the National Hospital, Dr. Ewunono opined that the vaccine is safe and that there are no cause for alarm.
In the context of coronavirus disease, these vaccines are coming to prepare, one, the cells of underlying the skin of the nose, because that's the entry point, and the respiratory system, so that they form a sentry guard awaiting the arrival of the germs, the coronavirus, that attack them there. Also, they stimulate the production of what is called antibodies. These are circulating forms of defense chemicals, so that whenever they see, prime them in a way that whenever they see coronavirus, they recognize it and attack it.
He further called on all those who have been vaccinated not to neglect the COVID-19 protocols.
A vaccine that can reduce the severity, first of all, limit the ability of someone to contract this disease, because this vaccine targets the entry point into the human body, which is the nostril. Two, even when it enters, we have developed a vaccine that can reduce drastically the severity of this disease. Thirdly, that this vaccine was also targeted at making the infectivity of that individual reduced, not 100%. Please, even if you have taken the vaccine like me, I've been vaccinated, keep on wearing your face mask, maintain appropriate social distancing, wash your hands regularly or sanitize, and avoid large gatherings.
8 European nations suspend use of AstraZeneca vaccine. There are more details of that story and others at the other side of this break. Please stay tuned.
My name is Right Reverend John Lee Oyekme, the Bishop of Akoko-Edo Anglican Communion and the Bishop Coordinator of the Youth of our National Church. Viewers, continue to watch ACNN. God bless you.
Alhamdulillah, Tugatin Balok Wood Preservative ya zarce duk matakan rigakafin da aka tsara don hana lalacewa da raguwar inganci na katako da kayan bishiyoyi. Timberlock Wood Preservative yana da zarfin shiga cikin itace wanda ke sa katako ya zama mai kariya ko da idan ya tsufa. Za a sake amfani da shi a kowane lokaci. Yana da ƙwarewa mafi girma akan adana itace, yana da abokantaka da sauƙin amfani. Timberlock Wood Preservative an tsara shi don magance ƙalubalen kiyaye itacen tare da daidaitun da za ku iya amincewa da shi. Je ka siya Timberlock Wood Preservative kada a baka labari. Domin ingantaccen kula da katakon ku biyo mu a yanar gizo at Timberlock Africa. Timberlock Wood Preservative, the Grandmaster of Wood.
It is educating. It is inspirational. It is relevant. It is spiritual. It is the parables, a program that brings to bear what parable means, giving us interpretations to each parable of Christ, and above all, teaching the life-changing lessons from each parable. Join me, Unzubechi Frank, on this station, the Advent Cable Network Nigeria ACNN Television, for the parables.
Christianity is not just something we say we have or claim with our lips. We have to live it out.
Welcome back. Now for more on our top stories, please visit our website at ACNNTV.com or our social media platforms on Facebook.com or YouTube.com/ACNNTV. To be up to date with our news and other programs, download the VM Africa app from Android and iOS stores. You can also advertise your goods and services on ACNN TV. And some business news. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation has insisted that the petrol depot price will remain unchanged in March. This is coming as a reaction to the Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency, PPPRA, fixing the pump price of premium motor spirit, PMS, also known as Petrol, at 212.61 naira per litre for the month of March on Thursday. In a tweet, the NNPC insisted there's no increase in ex-depot price of PMS in March. Newsmen earlier reported that the PPPRA confirmed that fuel subsidy actually officially returned in February 2021, as according to the downstream oil sector regulator. The actual pump price of PMS for February was between 183.7 naira and 186.74 per litre, meaning that the federal government paid an average of 16 naira per litre for PMS in the month. The expected retail price for PMS for March 2021 stands at 209.61 naira per litre and 212.61 naira per litre, being the lower and upper band respectively. A 5-man panel of Supreme Court has affirmed a 10-year jail term sentence slammed on a former governor of Plateau State, Senator Joshua Darie, who is already serving a 10-year jail term for criminal breach of trust. In a lead judgment read by Justice Helen Ogunwumiju on behalf of the Justice Mary Odili panel, the court held that the appeal court was right to have affirmed that judgment of an Abuja High Court, which originally sentenced the ex-governor. The Court of Appeal, Abuja, had convicted and sentenced Darie to 10 years for diverting public fund estimated at 1.162 billion naira while he was the governor. Recall that on June 12, 2018, a 3-man panel of the Court of Appeal, led by Justice Stephen Adda, in its decision, upheld an earlier judgment of Justice Adebukola Banjoko of the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory. The Supreme Court, however, quashed the charge of criminal misappropriation of fund, which carries a 2-year jail term. Now on the foreign scene, 8 European nations, including Italy, Latvia, Luxembourg, Lithuania, Estonia, Denmark, Norway and Iceland have decided to stop using the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine due to serious blood clot incidents reported in many countries. About 30 incidents of harmful blood clots in patients who received the vaccine were recorded, including at least one case in Denmark where the patient died. The EU medicines regulator said it was recommending the vaccine for all adults over 18 after a thorough evaluation of the Johnson & Johnson data found the vaccine met criteria for efficacy, safety and quality. Health authorities in Denmark are worried about the adverse side effects believed to be related to the AstraZeneca vaccine. Many patients have reported cases of blood clots they received after getting vaccinated. This suspension will last 2 weeks. Britain has advised its citizens to flee Myanmar as a UN expert warned that the junta is likely committing crimes against humanity in its attempt to stay in power. According to the UN's top rights experts who spoke on the country, the military authorities are cracking down with increasing harshness on daily protests against their February 1 coup, with at least 70 people being killed, as this prompted Britain, Myanmar's former colonial ruler, to urge its citizens to get out if they could, warning that political tension and unrest are widespread since the military took over and the levels of violence are rising. Meanwhile, the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office advises British nationals to leave the country by commercial means unless there is an urgent need to stay. Cristiano Ronaldo and Aaron Ramsey could be on their way out at Juventus as the club prepares for a rebuild this summer. This is according to football transfer expert Fabrizio Romano. The Serie A giants are set to hold talks with Ronaldo over his future. Juve will now look to build around Federico Chiesa, Weston McKennie and Matthijs de Ligt as they move into a new era. Ronaldo, who is 36 years, was signed from Real Madrid to help the Serie A champions win the Champions League. He is in his 3rd season at the club and is still yet to win it. The Portugal captain has another year on his contract, and the club's director, Fabio Paratici, is not ruling out an extension but says there is no rush to sort out anytime soon. Meanwhile, Simon Kjaer bagged a late equalizer to force Manchester United to a disappointing 1-1 draw in the first leg of Europa League round of 16 tie against AC Milan. Although Milan dominated the opening exchanges, United took the lead in the second half after teenager Amad Diallo's header beat Gianluigi Donnarumma in goal. It was the 18-year-old's first goal for the English Giants following his £37 million switch from Atalanta in January. The Milan defender's late intervention spoiled a memorable moment for the Ivorian teenager Diallo. In only his 3rd appearance for United, Diallo gave a glimpse of the potential that persuaded the Premier League giant to sign him from the Italian side Atalanta in January. Just 5 minutes after coming on as a half-time substitute, the 18-year-old put United in front with a superb header. You've been watching news on the hour on ACNNTV. Now let's give you the recap of the major stories. Former primate of the Church of Nigeria, the Most Reverend Nicholas Oko, congratulates the Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of the Trinity, Right Reverend Amos and Mrs. Abike Fagbamie on the success of their mission as they retire. A public health advocate, Dr. Henry Ewunono, says that the COVID-19 vaccine is meant to attack the virus and maximize its effect on people once they have been vaccinated. While in another development, a medical practitioner with the National Hospital Abuja, Dr. Tambri Wakama, says the vaccine is not new to the world, as vaccine is said to help in protecting and improving lives. A 5-man panel of the Supreme Court affirms the 10-year jail term sentence slammed on a former governor of Plateau State, Senator Joshua Darie. That's the size of the news on the hour. Thank you for watching. I remain Charles Philip Owakolam. Bye-bye.